Hey everyone, here's my Weeden motor collection. It's pretty close to being complete. There's two display boards that I'm missing and a larger version of a motor that's this guy right here, right? But let's start with what we have. So starting up here is that we have my first one. This is a early Weeden No.1. You can tell that it's a No.1 by how it's configured for the brushes with little standoffs. All right. So this is No.1. This is also a No.1, but it has a Weeden bar across the top, and it is also a reverser. Right. You can see there are two brushes there that are screwed through the brace, and underneath there's two brushes. And you move this lever back and forth, and it changes the polarity on the commutator, right? Then we get into the Weeden 102. All right. Apparently, this style of motor, its brushes and its bits are always broken. Every one I've had with these. This one has been repaired. I've taken parts from another motor from a donor to get this guy running, right? This is also a Weeden 102, but it's a reverser, just like that 101 I just showed you. But it's missing his brushes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this guy, because it's not likely to make, where's that one? There it is. These are not individual brushes that are in there. That's like one piece, a brush metal, that was like, a rectangle, and it was created to make the whole brush mechanism, all four brushes, and to be springy with that lever. Unlikely to be able to make one of those myself. The next one, which I have determined now, this is Weeden's largest motor, right? It has a very large single coil. This one was also missing its brushes, but at least it had its insulator. My friend Paula helped me create that stuff. It runs very, very well, right? Now it's very similar to the 102, but the 102 is, not only shorter, which I thought that was the only difference, but it's actually a smaller coil, smaller, iron around core for the coils. So, it's more comparable to like a 101 with an extra coil around the armature. But this guy right here, he's just beefy, very large. Next up, we get the 104. All right, I've had a video of this guy. It's just a 101 with a couple of pulleys at the end of it on a little metal press board. It's very nice. The next one up is the 105 electric. Very much like the previous one, except it has a water pump. Works quite well. It also has a 101 motor on there. Then we get other versions of 101s with pulleys. This is the 106, right? Also a 101. Now the next one is a 107, just like this other guy. It's shorter, right? All the little pulleys, but it has more pulleys on the bottom, all right? It's quite cool. Then we get to the tool shed, which is pretty much like the 106, right? But with like a little hut, right? Goes up with a little pulley, right? Also a 101 motor inside. All right, then we get to Weeden's cheaper motors. We got the 111, right? Not a very strong one. It is a reverser. All of these engines or motors that are like this are reversible, right? It just kind of bounces on the shaft and causes it to go. It can go very fast, but it doesn't have a lot of torque. It's cool looking though. Then we got the next style of that electric motor without the pulleys. You know, it's basically the same right here, and it's in very, very good shape. Very nice. This is a 111. That's a 112. So went backwards. So 111, 112. Sorry about that. Put them in the wrong order. All right, so the next one, this is the one that has two different styles or two different sizes. So this is a 113. The 114 I do not have. But it's basically like the 111 or 112 before it is just in a horizontal rather than vertical. And it's a little bit bigger, but it's, you know, not any more powerful. And then we get to the last one that I have. This little guy was only made for 2 years. So the last 2 years of them making motors, I mean, it's kind of like a 101, I guess, but not really. You know, it just kind of bounces this around. It's the same principle as the 111, right? But looks more motory, I guess you could say. It's also a reverser, has a reverser lever, right? But there's something wrong with this brush right here because it has two brushes. Not very easy to work on because it's mostly just stamped together with rivets. But it does run in one direction pretty well. And it's complete. And all things considered, it's in pretty good shape. I suspect towards the end, Weeden was trying to save cost and go with something, you know, more assembly line, you know, put together and cheaper parts. It's pretty light, all pressed metal. All right, so that would be my complete Weeden electric motor collection. Some of the items I've got off of eBay, different auctions, but the bulk of them I got through an auction most recently that were in two parts. And I have to say, I got them at a very good price. You know, roughly $60 to $70 per, you know, engines, the new ones that I've gotten. Some of them needed a little work. Some needed more work than others. And, you know, I have this one that I doubt if I ever get running. So, but at least I have the non-reverser one working over here. That's nice. And then oddly, there is a, what is it? It's between the larger one, right? There should be a 115 model number to the 116 board, you know, display board. There's a, like, you know, there's a 115 number in there. And I have a book that lists the 115 but doesn't show it. And on the Weeden side, you know, they just skip the 115. And then, you know, the other one I'm missing is the, you know, the 110 display board. So, which is actually like a workshop with the saw and the emery board or emery, sander kind of a thing. Anyway, those are very rare. Maybe one day I might come across them in an auction or something. But otherwise, it's a pretty nice little collection of Weeden motors, which I'm quite proud of having. All right, hope you enjoyed the little video of all my motors. Some of them already have videos like the pumper and this guy there. I think I made videos of those right there, etc. I might make some new videos of the newer ones that I've just got in the last day or so. But otherwise, see you next time. Bye now.